Hi guys, welcome to Miami Yoga Bootcamp. Today we're working on handstands. I love handstands because they're just like this unicorn in the yoga world. Like, do they exist? Can I do it? I've seen it done before. Is it me? Yes, it is you, but consistency is key. You have to practice as much as possible. I want you to think about when you learn to walk, right? You had to try it all day, every day. People were cheering for you, holding you, helping you. It's not any different now that you're going to be trying to be on your hands. So if you can take that same energy and effort to your handstands, you will be able to get on the hands just like you learned to walk. The only challenge is you're not a baby and you don't have to be on your hands to have a life. So if you want handstands, just cut out a few minutes every day. Today we're going to do a 10-minute video, and this is something you can practice every day that will help you. For handstand positioning, you can either have your index finger parallel or your middle finger parallel, and that's just going to change where you feel it throughout your shoulders, your elbows, and your wrist. So when you place the hands on the ground, your wrists are always stacked underneath the shoulders. So for me, I have a lot of mobility here within the elbows and the shoulders. So I like to actually keep my index finger more forward. That way I concentrate on keeping the joints more stacked. So you can train and you can play with both to find out what feels better throughout the arm and the shoulder. Again, it's either index finger forward or your middle finger forward. And again, that's just going to shift where the contractions are throughout your arms. The other thing, people say, where's the body weight in your handstand? Well, technically when you're losing your balance, it is anywhere and everywhere that can hold on. So we're gonna do a few warm-ups, first warming up the wrist and then warming up just the palm. So for handstands, the wrist orientation is this way. So a good way to warm up is hands underneath your shoulders. And you're just going to keep your hand positioning forward, checking in with either index finger or middle finger forward, and rock forward and back just a few times. You know, we're using our hands often, we're grabbing things, picking things up, so I don't believe in so much of a warm-up here, just with body weight. And a good counter stretch. So we're gonna flip the hands back, fingers towards you, and again, just rock back and forth. Stretching the front side of the arms, stretching the fingers all the way back. Right now my toes are curled under and I'm just kind of sinking the hips down to the heels. The warm-up I love most for handstands is a traditional plank. So from plank, your wrists are stacked underneath the shoulders. And again, checking that positioning, middle finger or index finger forward. Curl the toes under, lift your knees up, chin slightly forward. Warming up. So if you lose the balance, anything and everything that can catch you is fair game. So press your middle knuckle down and lift your fingertips off the ground. Don't forget about your pinky finger. Don't forget about your thumb. Can you get all of the fingertips off the ground? Okay, what if just your middle knuckles and palms have to help? Keep the stomach in. Now let's switch it. Press your fingertips down and lift the middle knuckles up. Again, the pinky finger and the thumb, they're kind of hanging out on the side. Don't forget to lift those areas. Again, just the palm, just the fingertips, not the middle knuckle. Now, what if you're losing your balance so much that just a fingertip can hold you? Come up on your fingertips. Can you do it? Keep the shoulders stacked over the wrist and press every fingertip into the floor. Chin slightly forward, pull the stomach in tight. And then what if it's just the whole hand? The whole hand is working hard. Your hands become stilts at this point. Press every knuckle, every fingertip, every palm, every part of the hand to the floor as you can. Knees to the floor. Stretch the shoulders back. Wide knees, child's pose. Counter stretching the spine. Extension through the arms. Make your way to seated position. It's important that you keep your wrist out of what I like to call the red zone. So if you think of stoplight, yellow, red, green, okay? Traditionally, when you're not doing a lot of things like this, your wrists are green. But when you're training, they get a little bit yellow, okay, the middle zone. You cannot let your wrist get into a red zone or you won't be able to practice. Once the wrists are shot, handstands are done for the day. And potentially a few days or a week, depending on how much you've pushed them. 3 is the magic number for me. I do things 3 times and then just counter stretch the wrist. You want to counter stretch before you need it. Okay, take care of yourself. Can I do more than 3 handstands at once? Yes. But it's a commitment I've just made to myself and now my wrists are never in pain. So what if you're not comfortable with kicking up into a handstand? You can always use the wall. You can walk up the wall with your feet. Make your way to standing. All right, and from here, again, checking that same alignment from before in the plank. Wrist underneath the shoulders, fingers. I'm gonna do index finger forward so that I can wrap more through the scapula and the upper back. If you're not comfortable with kicking up, you'll place one foot on the wall, lean the body weight back into the foot, and then press the earth away from you to get the other foot up. From here, walking your feet as high as you can, and just relaxing the head, breathing. Doing this hold 10, 20, 30 seconds a day will start to build stamina for you to do anything on the hands. It's a numbers game, so if you think you're not good at arm balancing, it's just because you spend most of your life on your feet. It doesn't mean you're not good at it, it's just you're not used to it. So again, if you're not comfortable with walking up the wall, or kicking up, you're going to walk your foot up. When you do this, alternate your feet, that way you're training different levels for splits. Press into the wall. Once you get comfortable here, you're going to open up your feet wider and then begin to walk your hands closer to the wall. Over time, getting all the way to the wall. If you keep your legs wide, it'll help you, but once you get to the wall, relax the head and bring your feet together. From here, walk yourself away from the wall. Make sure that you have a way to bail. So make sure there's no furniture. If you don't have the strength to walk away from the wall, you can cartwheel down. Okay? In between, rolling the wrist, keeping them yellow or green. From here, after you've built enough strength to walk yourself into the wall, you're feeling more comfortable, you can practice in kicking up to the wall. There are a few versions. Hands to the floor, fingers spread wide. Relax the head. We refer to this as palm tree. The spine is completely straight, the neck is neutral. Alternating the legs that you kick up. Using flexibility first. As opposed to kicking from down below, you want to create as much space as possible so that the kick is lessened. When you kick up to the wall, bring your other foot to meet. Relax the head, release the neck. Breathe here. When you lower down, same leg goes first, same leg follows. Counter stretch, roll the wrist, and alternating. Alternating not only keeps your practice balanced, but it keeps you present with your practice. So if you're just going up every time and you don't know, you want to switch sides, switch legs. The last thing I want to talk about is space through the shoulders and the neck. When we're doing arm balancing, the arms start to creep up like Thriller, right? So you want to keep creating space here. From the floor, an exercise you can do is very simple. It's as if you were doing a headstand. You're gonna relax the head, let your head hang. You know that the head is neutral because you're looking back in between the thighs as opposed to the mat or even more forward, so let everything hang. It's not cat-cow because I'm not doing this and this. I'm actually shrugging through the shoulders, up and down. Little movements like this will create space for the neck and shoulders. You can do a set of 10 before you start to do your arm balancing. This will work with tiger pose, forearm pose, headstand pose, and handstands. Once that's comfortable, you can do the same exercise on the wall. So either walking up or kicking up, alternating legs. Once you get up there, relax the head, and the same shrug. Shrugging through the shoulders. Notice my elbows are bending as a consequence of the shoulders moving as opposed to me doing a push-up and down. I'm just moving through the shoulders. When you come off the wall, see if there's a moment where you can actually float and keeping the legs off the wall, slowly lowering down. The final counter stretch I want to show you is a posture I've just kind of made up. It's not Sanskrit. It's called chicken pose. So with your hands, you're going to fold them in because you know we've just done handstands, which is making your hand go this way. So you'll fold them in next to your body, elbows wide, and then start to draw the elbows in towards you. As you draw the elbows in, at the same time starting to slide your wrist forward. So now the stretch moves more towards the knuckles, more towards the fingers, all the way through to the other side, And voila, you might hear some cracking. What you want to do is just spend some time on your hands, okay? You want to spend time on your hands just like you spent time on your feet, and you'll notice the time will equal the progression. If you feel like you don't have time, then you don't have interest. And that's okay. You can have an entire happy life without having a handstand. But if you want handstand, take the time. Thank you for taking the time today.